The Snow Child, retold by Freya Littledale. A Russian folk tale. Once upon a time, in a faraway village, there lived an old man and his wife. They loved one another dearly, but they were unhappy because they had no children. One cold winter day, when the first snow lay deep on the ground, the old couple stood at the window. The children of the village were playing outside. They were building a snowman as big as a giant. When the snowman was finished and the children had gone, the old man turned to his wife. "Why don't we go outside and build a snow child?" he said. "Why not?" said his wife. "We can make a little girl." So they went out to the garden and set to work. Slowly and carefully they shaped the snow. They made a little body with dainty hands and feet. They rolled a ball of snow and shaped the head. Then they carved the mouth and eyes with a tiny twig. The snow child was as perfect as she could be. Her dress was trimmed with icicles, and her hair was made with willow branches covered with frost. "The snow child is beautiful," said the old man. "How I wish she were real," sighed the wife. And she bent down and kissed the child's lips. No sooner had she done this than the snow child came to life. Her lips turned pink, warm breath came from her mouth, and she looked at the old couple with the eyes of a real child. First she moved her head, then her arms, then her legs. "Look," cried the old man, "she's alive." The snow child smiled, and then she spoke. "I am a child of the snow. I came to you as cold wind blows." "Our wish has come true," said the old woman. "Yes," said her husband. "At last we have a little girl of our own." And he took the snow child in his arms and carried her into the cottage. The old couple had never been so happy. The old man told stories, the old woman sang songs, and the snow child danced around the room. That night, the old woman made up a little bed with a warm woolen blanket. "Come," she said, "it is time to go to sleep." But the snow child shook her head. "I cannot sleep here," she said. "I must sleep outside." "You will be too cold," said the old woman. "Oh no," said the snow child laughed. "I can never be too cold." And out she ran into the garden. Every night she slept there on a bed of snow, and every night the old couple looked out of the window to make sure the little girl was safe. The moon and stars shone upon her, and they could see that she smiled as she slept. All was well. During the long cold winter, the snow child played with the village children. She showed them how to make many things out of snow: horses, a carriage, and even a beautiful palace. At last the spring came, and the sun warmed the land. Birds returned from far-off places, and buds opened in the garden. The children of the village were glad. They danced and they sang in the sunlight. They called to the snow child, "Come! Come and play with us!" But the snow child would not go. She hid from the sun and sat in the shade of a willow tree or in a dark corner of the cottage. "What is wrong?" asked the old woman. "Are you ill?" asked the old man. "Nothing is wrong," she answered. "I am fine." Yet the snow child grew sadder and sadder as the days grew warmer. Her lips lost their color, and she seemed thin and weak. Then one morning, when the last of the snow had melted, she came to the old couple and kissed them both. I must leave you now, she said. Why? They cried. I am a child of the snow. I must go where it is cold. No, no, they cried. You cannot go. They held her close, and a few drops of snow fell to the floor. Quickly she slipped from their arms and ran out the door. Come back, they called. Come back to us. But the snow child was gone, and the old couple wept. They thought they would never see her again. All summer long, children played, birds sang, and flowers bloomed around the cottage. But the old man and his wife could think only of the little girl. Then the following winter, when the first snow fell, the old couple looked out of the window. There in the garden stood the snow child. They rushed outside and kissed her. The snow child smiled, and then she spoke. I am a child of the snow. I came back to you as cold winds blow. The snow child stayed with the old man and his wife all through the winter. Then, when spring came, she left once more. But the old man and his wife were no longer sad. They knew that their snow child would return to them every winter forever after.